Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Changeling the Lost Littlebrook Reunion. I am, as always, your storyteller, the Primogen, or Chris, if you'd like. And with me, as always, I have my amazing team of players all around me. I am in the middle, but I would be nowhere if it wasn't for these 6 amazing people. So it's been a little while. We've had some issues. I was sick last week. It's been a lot, but we're back again, and we're going to go at it. We will do a little recap of what happened last time. But before we do that, let's have a little introduction, and then maybe Torwin can fire away some promos. So today we will start with Silas and work our way zigzag up. So Silas, Nova, Nate, Lars, Jonas, Tide.
Okay, hey everyone, I'm Trev. I play Silas, who is an ogre.
I'm Megan. I play Nova, and she is a beast.
Hi, I'm Harry. I play Nate, and he is a Ferris.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Sorry.
Oh, did I? Oh.
No. It's fine. You have a little red icon on you. Is this working?
Sorry, I muted so I could cough and forgot to turn it back off.
No worries.
I am the Touring. I play Lars. He is a wizened, and he is the grumpy old man of the group.
Perfect. Thank you.
And
Jonas.
I'm last. No, Jonas first.
Yep. Hi, I'm Adam, and I play Jonas, and I'm a Darkling.
Indeed. And that means you are left, Tide.
Hi, I'm Kitsu. I play Tide. Tide is an elemental.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So before I do the recap of what happened last time, we do have a little bit of a flicker problem over at Harry's. Nate, there's some stuff flickering on your camera every once in a while. Oh, it happened again. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm the only one seeing this.
Movie.
Yeah, we got Slender Man coming out of the monitor. Touring, do you want to hit us away with some of the promos for the week?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big news is that we have been featured on the Onyx Path's main website. So that's kind of cool to get a little bit of kudos from those guys. We appreciate them letting us stream on their site. So, but the big news is the M20 Technocracy Reloaded Kickstarter. It has been live for a little over a week. I believe it went live last Tuesday. And it is, as with a lot of their Onyx Path Kickstarters, 100+% funded. But there's 20 days to go, so if you have not already backed the product, go ahead and do so. If you're interested in getting into more mage stuff, Chris just did a video on his YouTube about it earlier this week. So if you're not real sure what that is, maybe go check that out. But for only $30, you can get the PDF and access to the manuscript beforehand. So you can kind of start looking at it and checking it out. Technocracy, of course, being kind of an antagonist in the mage universe, but they're
the good guys.
They're not really good guys. They're not really bad guys. They're just different guys.
They're different.
But if the size of the Mage 20 book is any indication, this thing is going to be huge and amazing. So go check that out on their Kickstarter and back it. Check it out. I think that's all I got.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And if you're not sure what the Technocracy is, essentially imagine that Mage is like the Matrix and the Technocracy are the agents, except they're good guys.
Good analogy.
Matrix are the good guys. Humanity is the one who turned the world to a smoking ruin.
Exactly. Animatrix got it.
They got it right.
So, perfect. So go support that. I'm also guesting on Red Moon Roleplaying with Travis Legg doing the storytelling for that. So, and I do believe that there is a short campaign of Technocracy being run here on the Onyx Path as well. So going full steam ahead with that. But with that said, I will now do a recap. So, after you folks put up a good challenge or a good entertainment for Scrimnir, the Goblin King. He found it in his graces to grant you 3 answers to questions asked. And ultimately, he informed you that the best way to protect Littlebrook was to get rid of the true Fae, so to speak, to get rid of her in some way. Either make her forget about Littlebrook or destroy her. When you asked how to destroy her, he told you that something neither from your world, from his world, or from her world would be able to do that. Cryptical, perhaps. I don't remember. I mean, I know you did ask a third question, but that was a mulligan. So I don't remember what the third question was, if there was one. Or did you save that one?
Wasn't it like the medium version, the hard version, and then what
That's
else
right.
do we need to know?
That's right. What else do you need to know? And what else did you need to know?
That was about, then that was the way to defeat her isn't
Yeah.
from her world, his world,
That's
or
right.
our world.
That's right. Perfect. So, after you did that, you were, of course, faced with the difficult conundrum of how do we actually get back to Littlebrook, and you were naturally offered a quick and easy solution. You simply had to attend a party in Scrimnir's place that he didn't really want to go to, and once you'd socialized a little bit, sampled some of the wares, talked a bit with the other guests, you could just simply leave the party and he would whisk you back to Littlebrook safe and sound, as they say, lickety-split. So that was the deal. You, of course, agreed to it, and you were given beautiful clothes, a horse for some reason, and you were transported across actually Silas rode you across the ocean or the lake, whatever you want to call it, to the castle of the Sanguine Duke. Ominous name, perhaps. The castle, in turn, was this 14th, 15th, 16th, something medieval European castle. None of you are experts in this matter, so it looked like a castle. And you arrived at the beach, you made your way up, entered with the invitation, and was brought to the dining hall, where you realized, perhaps somewhat to your dismay, that the rest of the guests were all manners of insects. In fact, the staff as well were these mixtures of humans and insects in a way, and there were flies buzzing around, there were mosquitoes zipping blood out of glass tumblers, there was a bee being in a fight with some hornets, and some butterflies fluttering about, of course. No, there were no butterflies. That's correct. No butterflies. You were not really sure what to do. You were offered trays of delicacies by spider-like waitresses. Silas sampled some of the larvae and some of the blood that was delicacies. You were asked, would you like anything else? You politely declined the offer. And I believe, Nate, you made friends with Eliza of Portholm, the bee delegate, who you essentially pulled out of a rather, I would say, pointy situation with the hornet delegates who were getting antsy is probably not the right word, but hornety? I don't know, maybe. And I believe you were not entirely sure what to do when a buzzing cloud of insects entered through the windows, joined by scuttling creeps and critters across the floor, all conjoining into one single mass as they spoke, welcoming you all to sit down at the dining table. And I do believe that's where we ended last session. Did I miss anything? Don't think so. Then I think we will all then sit down and enjoy another session of a storytelling game of beautiful madness. Nailed it. And finally got it right. This will be fine. So, you are standing in this large dining hall, come dance hall perhaps. There's live music being played by crickets. With violins and contrabass. No, not contrabass.
Cello.
Cellos. Thank you, cellos and other string instruments like that. And it is a somber mood. The guests all slowly hover towards their assigned seats. The bee, of course, sitting in between two hornets, not looking too pleased about that. Looks like she's got a bee in her bonnet, from the look of it. And don't judge me. What do you do?
Are there seats that look like they're reserved for us?
There are seats spread out all across the table. Well, all across the sides of the table, of course, not on the table. There are several trays covered on the table, and as you're sort of deciding what to do, more servants, like the worm-like creature that brought you here, arrive carrying trays that they're putting on the table with covers of polished steel hiding the contents. Large decanters of dark red liquid being carried out, and a few crystal clear ones with something slightly yellowish of color, very sickly sweet smelling, and trays of flower petals being carried out as well.
So I'll take my seat.
Jonas will go and take his seat as well.
Not the biggest fan of this situation, but a deal's a deal, so here we are.
Yep. Lars will go take a seat and as well. Give a warm-ish greeting to the people seated on either side of him. A little nod of acknowledgement.
Lars, you sit down next to a rather almost wrinkly-looking man who seems to have lost a lot of weight very quickly. His skin is kind of sagging from his arms, and he has a very, very tiny head, and you can tell that he has a large body. And he kind of just clicks his mandibles at you as you sit down next to him.
Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
I double check. What does it say on my seating card?
That's a good question. You called yourself Faceless, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, that was a name you went, but you'd never introduced. None of you have introduced yourselves by name, I believe. Although, yes, Mike, who's apparently also Dave, Michael Dave, has introduced himself to the bee. To Eliza. But it says Faceless on your seating. In fact, everyone's fake names are on the seating labels.
Who am I being seated next to?
You're sitting next to a hornet, and so you're fairly close to Lady Eliza. And what seems to be a gentleman wearing a kind of a brownish gleaming suit. And you realize that from a certain perspective, he kind of looks like a cockroach.
I greet them, not too friendly enough to not be rude.
They seem less than inclined to start a conversation with you. It seems most of you are getting kind of not a cold shoulder, but certainly they seem to think that you're not really part of the clique, so to speak.
Well, I mean, they're correct, so.
Well, I mean, they click, we don't.
Exactly. Nice one.
Do we really be members of this club anyways?
Yeah, just keep them coming. Yes.
No, just when you, I would like to put myself in line to who am I sitting next to whenever you're done.
You are actually seated next to Lars, and and one of the mosquitoes. She's kind of she's very narrow. Like it's kind of like when you're looking at each other, like it's sort of shifting between human and non-human in the way they look. But this woman is very scrawny, very long-necked, sharp, pointy face, and proboscis, of course, that's kind of unrolling and rolling up as she observes you.
And my seat, who am I next to?
Ah, man, you're all asking the tough questions here. Nate, you are... There's an empty seat at the other end of the table, opposite the Duke. Would you, Nate, sit down at that empty spot?
Is that the only empty spot?
Yes. Yes, it's the only empty spot.
Sure.
What could possibly go wrong?
You sit down
Nate's
there.
main stat's charisma. I can bullshit my way out of this one.
As soon as you decide, because I don't think you decided right away, but as soon as you went, I'm going to sit there, your name appeared as if it had always been there.
Huh.
Nice.
I guess I'm in charge. Not really, but Nate is visibly nervous, sitting at the end of the table.
You got this.
I don't think I do, but I'll try.
It's your seat.
Silas, you sit down next to what appears to be a rather large beetle-like man who's wearing polished armor. It's much more refined looking and decorated than the armor of the guards standing outside. He has these massive horns, and you recall suddenly seeing a beetle in one of your books when you were much younger that was called an Atlas beetle, and he seems to almost fit the mold for that. Like it's very impressive armor, and he has this big, thick handlebar mustache that he's kind of blowing air through as he's tapping his fingers on the table.
Handlebar mustache. That's someone who's clearly pretty posh, even before you look at his
Man of culture.
Is it carapace armor, or is it is like his beetle carapace is a kind of armor? Or?
Yes, it's an armor that, in a sense, looks like a beetle's carapace. The people here are very insect-like, some of them more than others. Question was raised last time if these are changelings, and some of them certainly seem to fit the bill. Like, some of them are perfectly human, but with extra limbs, extra arms, like the waitresses or the maids. Some of them are barely human, like the worm-like manservant who brought you here. And some of them are clearly insect, like there were some mosquitoes that have anthropomorphic standing, like they're standing, but they're clearly insects, they're not human. So it's a mixture of it. And as for the Sanguine Duke himself, he is just an outline, like he is a cloud of insects and creepy crawlies, essentially.
He's a cloud. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to sit down next to the guy and politely introduce myself.
And you'll sit down at the table. You, the waitresses or the maids offer these decanters of blood to you to pour into your glasses if you want. Do you say yes or do you decline?
I have a glass already.
Oh, that's right. You haven't touched yours.
I
mean,
point to
I'm
that.
pretending to sip it.
I point to that that other clear liquid that they were carrying around, and politely ask for that instead.
Oh, of course. And you're given the sweet, seems to be honeydew, the kind of nectar-like sweetness that you would find that insects might produce.
I follow Jonas's lead and take us.
Lars as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Tide has been freezing. Were you freezing the blood?
That's right. I froze the blood, so
Yeah.
I don't have a glass now.
Yeah.
Shit. I point to the sweet one as well.
Yes, you're all given, of course, to the.
Thank you.
The
I forgot about the glass.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Pinkazel. You are our chronicler. You're keeping
Our
better
lore
track of
master,
it.
yeah. Better memory than all of us combined.
They gave you a refill. That's right. God, yeah, it's been 2 weeks. But essentially, if you ask for what the non-meat eating insects are having, you're given that. There are some flies. They're thick bulbous bodies. They're bottle flies, so they're very shiny, and they're of their wings as they're kind of angrily looking around. Like, it seems like everyone here is very much on edge. And as you're sitting down and you're taking something to drink, you hear the voice of the Sanguine Duke once more.
My fellow guests, it is a great pleasure to have you here. And I must say, it is with great sorrow that it has come to this. Our beautiful lands ravaged by war, our civilians, our people, ravaged, murdered, cut down in the streets. Blood has been shed, and for what, I ask? Pieces of land, vague ideas of honor, blood feuds. Who knows? But I have brought you here today to bring in a new era. I have a proposition to make that will unite our great nations together, and we will once again stand strong and united against the foes at our gates. But before that, please eat, drink, be merry.
And as he finishes this presentation, all the servants lift up these covers, and what you see being served is probably enough to turn the stomach of most of you. It is awful. It's intestines. It's limbs that look vaguely humanoid, rotting and decomposed. There are eyes in a bowl of glass that simmer in a soup of ichor, and it's the smell is overpowering. And the insects all just put napkins on or straighten out their clothes and start chatting with each other as they are served these dishes. And you are, of course, also offered. There are flowers, petals, there are honeycombs, and there's, of course, the main course that most of them are eating. You can eat whichever one you prefer.
Honeycomb and flower petals, please.
That's given to you.
I follow that as well.
I'll order the same.
Yes.
Nova thinks that maybe to be polite, just like half an eyeball and then some honey.
Perfect. Half an eyeball. Flicker kind of taps her fingers on the table and looks around, and then she just goes, I want to try the eyes.
I mean,
There's no point in trying to stop you.
Cook them first.
Let's toast eyes.
She uses one of these little toothpicks and kind of takes an eye, just like Noah did, and puts it on her plate, and then looks around. You hear popping noises from the eye as it's kind of cooked. And then she looks down. She looks down at it and goes, "Nova,
yeah,
I don't want to eat this anymore."
Oh, okay. Noah's like, kind of thought like she kind of egged her on a bit, so she'll put it on her plate.
She and scoots it over
really
to your plate.
Ramp up to try to eat it. She's gonna put all the honey and the honeycomb, just like coat it like candy
Ugh.
on it. And, oh, okay. and just try not to put a whole lot of tension on her. Just kind of like, and she will eat it.
Delightful. It is exactly. It tastes exactly like you imagine it would taste.
Yeah,
not good.
I'm eating food. Look at this.
You actually get some appreciative nods from some of the other guests. And do you eat the whole thing, or do you just take a little bit of it?
I think she figures it's an eyeball, and it's kind of weird. It actually, like, the half actually looks kind of grosser than the whole.
Yeah.
So yeah, she just popped that whole thing in and just like made the decision.
Yeah.
All in.
And it is not good, but it goes down. Kind of pops in your mouth.
This is good. I'm a good guest.
Yeah. The rest of you are eating flower petals, drinking honeydew. It's like, it's not good. It's by no.
I'm eating flower petals and honey.
What would Silas like to eat? Are you eating the local delicacies, or are you eating the vegan option?
Vegan doesn't seem like something an ogre would do, so he'd look around the meat options and see, nothing too human. He doesn't want to freak out his companions. At the same time, though, goodness knows that a race of sentient insects will probably have some interesting fresh options. He's not going to eat something obviously rotten, but...
There actually, you do find on the table this kind of stack of what looks to be deep-fried ants.
Ooh.
Like ants this size, about.
Oh!
Chicken wings, but ants.
Ants the size of a cat or a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, those are the best. The thing is, you just hop off the head and then suck on the...
Yeah, exactly. It's like eating crab.
Exactly. It's a similar thing. So I'd just be doing that.
Yeah.
Picking up the thing. You have to get the suction right, because you do that, you get all the juice just coming right out.
Yeah, it's great. It's got the natural tanginess of... Anyway, you... I can tell that we shall move on with the dinner. But there's some polite conversation. You're occasionally asked some questions like, where are you from? How do you know the Duke? Nothing really too deep or meaningful, but, table talk.
I'm going to do my best to try and convince people, but try to just subtly schmooze my way around the party and convince people that I am more important than I actually am, because I'm at the head of the table.
That you actually get quite a bit of you get, some of them are kind of looking your way, and I think one of the flies goes, so how are you contributing to the movement? What manner of natural resources are you providing?
We come from a small kingdom, but as far as natural resources go, we have an iron mine.
Ooh, cold iron, you say? Much valuable.
So it would seem, yes. And we have quite the capable warriors.
What is the name of this kingdom of yours?
The kingdom of Littlebrook.
The Kingdom of Littlebrook, I see. I've never heard of this place before. He kind of elbows his companion. Is it far away, this Littlebrook?
Quite far. Very, very, very far away.
Even the fly's way, so to speak?
Yes.
Well then, so is it heavily... How is your army? Do you have a lot of soldiers?
Currently, our forces are lacking, but we are in the midst of a recruitment drive.
Yes, I see.
We are in the midst of a recruitment drive, and we expect by the end of the week to have our forces back up to full strength.
And how many would this full strength be? I'm just merely curious.
I believe that's classified.
Oh, of course. Just having polite conversation.
But we're dug in, so don't try anything.
Buzzes, and his proboscis kind of dips down on the leg he's eating.
I tried to like carefully drop the name Skrimner. See what how if that attracts any reactions.
How casually are you dropping it? Loudly or just
Like when they ask where we come from, I say we just came here from Skrimner's realm.
Well, that's you were sitting next to the Hornet, I believe.
A hornet and a
The bee.
and a
was
and
the
a
bee
something
there?
brown.
oh yes, cockroach. Hornet and a cockroach.
Yeah, that.
The hornet seems less than interested, but the cockroach says, "Oh, I've been to Skrimner's once. He wanted to challenge me in an eating competition. Suffice to say, I won with quite a lead. The
Did
trick
you?
is to eat the trough as well, you see."
Yeah. We figured it out eventually, but
Yes,
yes,
well-
we're actually representatives here, or I am a representative from
Oh.
Skrimner here.
Oh, I see. How is the old fellow?
He's very good. He has the health. He has all he ever wants and
But
all he ever
clearly
needs,
not
even
good.
entertainment.
Clearly not good enough to show up for this party, is he?
No,
I see. So, as representatives, what are you bringing to the unification of our nations? I wasn't
We're
aware that
here-
he was joining, in fact.
we're here to oversee and mediate if need be.
Of course.
What
A
affairs in
neutral
these
party.
regions-
A neutral party.
Neutral part. Affairs in this region affects the realm of Skrimner as well. So, yeah, he's interesting in this the outcomings.
You can tell that Eliza, the bee, is actually listening in, or at least if you think she's glancing your way, like she has faceted eyes, so it's kind of hard to tell, but her head is slightly inclined in your direction. And she, you can see one of her jointed fingers is kind of tapping restlessly on the table as she's suckling on a leaf of honeydew. Tell me, where are you from, Skrimner's kingdom? You certainly don't look like goblins to me.
I temporarily work for Skrimner, and that's
I see. You're one of the 3 agents, then? The privateers, is that what they call them?
we can call us that. Yes.
I see. You actually, as this cockroach mentions the word privateer, you spot one of the maidens who is serving you. She kind of stumbles and almost drops a tray of actual raw frog legs in your lap, but she managed to catch it right before she drops it, and she kind of excuses herself and puts it on the table and hurries away. Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
I turned to her and just, that was a bit too close. I do not wish you to come near me this night again.
She nods and she looks wide-eyed at you. You see she has possibly more than 8 eyes around her face. They're all kind of blinking unevenly. She nods apologetically and scurries away from the table.
I try to switch the conversation away from me a bit and ask the cockroach. So, what's your take on all this ongoings in the region?
Oh, it's the same old. War one day, peace another, alliances made and broken, bloodshed and blood feuds is part of the cause. I believe 12th meeting we've had only this year regarding forming an alliance. I believe the 9th alliance with the possibility of actually being formed.
Why do they keep breaking?
Oh, well, why not? Why don't they? Bees and hornets in the same alliance? Fleas and ticks, they're in each other's territories. They are natural enemies. And the Duke believes he can unite us. Well, I say he can unite us as much as I can live without my head. That is to say, for quite a few days before I die.
So why doesn't the Duke just conquers all of them? Is his army is not large enough?
Oh, well, I mean, if he really wanted to, he could do it like this. He is one of the fair folk, after all, but I believe he actually finds some amusement in all this politicking.
Okay.
A more cynical man would say we are all just puppets in his grand play, but I find it amusing and interesting. I often stay away from conflicts.
Wise.
Yes, well, I do have my head about me.
and I do appreciate your insights. What insights? What was your name?
My name is the Archbishop of Lordry.
Very nice to meet you, Archbishop. And I you seem
Archbishop
like
of Lordry. There's quite a few of us, so it's very.
Oh, my apologies.
No offense taken.
And you seem like a level-headed individual, and I would like to hear more of your insights about the ongoings, so that I can view it with such an enlightened eye, so to speak.
Certainly, I could share this information, but we are in the middle of dinner conversation. It's honestly a little bit crass to talk about these things while we're having food.
I understand.
So, perhaps later.
Of course. Is there any... This is the first time I represent Scrivener in this court here. Is there anything I should stay clear from our host? Something he does not approve of?
Well, he certainly doesn't approve of his hospitality being misused. He doesn't approve of troublemakers. And he certainly doesn't approve of, well, not much of anything, really, to be honest. He's quite prickly. Well, if you want to get on his good side, a challenge, a duel is always welcome. He quite appreciates fighting off, shedding the pounds he's gained while eating, if you understand my meaning.
A warrior and a gourmand.
Yes, certainly. Well, there's he's got plenty of mouths to feed, after all, so he quite enjoys feasting.
I'm just gonna keep trying to fish some information without being too crass and
you learn a little bit about the Byzantine politics of these kingdoms and duchies and counties and it's worse than the Byzantine Empire. There are layers upon layers upon layers of arguing and fighting, and this one did that one, and then there was a coup here. It is everyone seems to be related. That's what you can get from all this. It's like everyone has been married to one another, or there are descendants of this line, and so everyone has a claim on the throne, essentially.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Always nice to share these things with someone not enlightened by the political situation of the kingdom. Or are we an empire now? I can never quite remember. Yes, was there anything else? Is there anything someone else wants to do, or?
Nova's just trying to be extra mothy, like just trying to, exude more moth to fit in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it works quite well. You are quite possibly the only one here who has, what is it called? Or who has had wings that are covered in these kind of scales that a moth and a butterfly would have. So that certainly seems to require you some manner of appreciation or perhaps even jealousy from some of the less gifted present. There is a crane fly whose wispy limbs kind of fly all over the place as they're trying to eat from the table, and they have tiny little wings on their back, and they're looking rather jealously at you.
Keep your head down, but like just twitching them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, these things. It's just born with them. What are you gonna do?
These old things.
Yeah, these old things.
Everyone got married to everyone, and you might get hit on.
Oh no. Oh, you guys don't want Nova flirting.
Oh God.
Speak for yourself.
So as the eating continues, you see how the Miss Eliza or Lady Eliza finally kind of clinks a fork to her glass, and she looks at everyone gathered, and then she looks over at the Duke, and she goes, "Well, I would like to, of course, first call a cheer or a toast rather to the host who has served us such a delicious meal. A toast."
Absolutely, raise a glass.
She raises a glass,
But
and she. Now, I believe it is customary that one of us provide the amusement for the Duke for the next part of the dining before the dessert, and I would like to challenge the Duke to a duel. And there is a surrusses of voices around. Ooh, Lady Eliza's never challenged the Duke to a duel. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. What can a honeybee do? It's all, everyone is kind of chatting away. And you, Jonas, see that the lady actually has her hand kind of half wrapped up in her dress, one of her hands anyway. So it's kind of you can barely see her hand in it, but she's holding something.
Oh boy!
And she gets up and she inclines her head to the Duke, who kind of buzzes in excitement at the prospect, and immediately. Several manservants come in and just lift the tables away and carry them off. And then they carry you, all of you, on your seats to the back of the hall, like you're being carried very easily, by the way. There's no shaking or anything. They just lift you up as if you weighted nothing and carry you over. Silas, you get two of the manservants. You're a little bit bigger than the others. But they carry you just as easily. And all of a sudden, you realize that where the dining table was, there are markings in the floor to kind of indicate a circle of some kind for where a ceremonious combat or something similar could be conducted. And immediately there's talk of I'm going to bet 15 of my domain's newborn on the Duke inflicting the first blood. Oh, I will take that wager, and I will wager 25 of my strongest workers. So they're all gambling with each other or betting on who's going to do what. And the cockroach actually looks over to Jonas and says, would you like to make a wager, perhaps?
Sorry, business, not pleasure tonight.
I see. Very well then. And
But I do like reiterate. So just to get it clear, she is the heir because she married the Baron of blah blah blah.
Yes, she was actually supposed to inherit this castle in itself, and indeed these lands, but the Duke murdered her parents and banished her to a rather small, dingy little domain on the very border. So clearly she has all the right to challenge the Duke. She will die, of course, but I'm sure that her family will regain their honor.
Thank you.
Of course. And all of the rest of you as well are approached, asked if you want to wager anything, and Flicker's like, I have this pine cone, how much can I get for that? And one of the flies goes, for that pine cone, I will give you, if you win, I will trade you my firstborn. And Flicker just goes, oh, yeah, hell yeah. And they kind of shake hands on it. And Flicker says, I'm gonna bet that the Duke will catch fire. And the fly goes, well, that's a very interesting. Yes, then I will give you my 2 firstborns, because that's never going to happen.
Nova's gonna start like looking for stuff she can bet, because that sounds like a really good bet. But she's like, no, okay, no, we'll just watch.
Silas
just like, you go first. You go first.
Yeah, sorry. You keep disappearing, Trev. Sorry.
Okay. No, I was about to say Silas doesn't place bets on games he doesn't understand. For instance, a sport where he doesn't know.
Yeah. It seems there's like no rhyme and reason to these bets. Some of them are like first blood, obviously, but others are like, I bet the Duke will flip over a chair and fly out the window. There's all kinds of bets, really. Doesn't seem to be any logic to it.
Tide is just like trying to pretend they have a mouth too full of flower petals to bet anything. So some of the birds are like, sorry.
Yes.
I have to eat when I watch this. Sorry, can't talk.
Yeah. And the man that you sat down next to, Lars, who was all wrinkly, is now swollen up. You can tell he's kind of grayish in his hue. He's a tick, obviously, and he's been drinking like one for the entire dinner. He's been like chugging down blood into his gullet, and he's kind of wobbling in his seat. It's like, oh, this is going to be interesting.
I'm sure it will be very interesting. This is my first such dinner. What would a duel such as this, I guess, entail?
Well, basically, they are going to decide the rules for themselves, and then we will cheer them on, and most likely the Duke will kill the bee. I'm actually betting on him tearing out her stinger and piercing her heart with it. Oh, that would be a sight.
So this is a fight to the death, then?
Oh, no, not for the Duke. No, he's not going to die. Oh, yeah, well, I suppose it's a fight to the death for her.
So how would she win, then?
I'm sorry?
How would she win, or she can't?
She's not going to win. No. I'm glad she decided to do this. I'm really not fit for fighting at all.
Interesting. So Lars will then kind of lean over to Tide and say, it seems like this is just a good way to commit suicide, based on what this guy says. Which is unfortunate, because she seemed like a decent bee.
This is a really bad time to recall my paper about honeybees going extinct. This is Tide saying this. That's not helping. I kind of want to help her.
I have a feeling that interfering will be seen as joining, and joining seems like it would be, opening yourself up to dying as well.
That's fair, but yeah. It's kind of, I've been stuffing my mouth not to say anything, because I hate them so much. This is what it was like for us two. You could never win. She's the same. And these guys were better off if one of them could. But yeah.
It seems like a pretty common trend with these types, which leads me to think that maybe we're fighting a losing battle against, or to save Littlebrook, unfortunately.
Or you're a smart cookie. You're a smart guy, not a cookie. Sorry, I have to make this clear. I'm very serious now. So here's the thing. Even if she doesn't win, maybe we can find out something that will kind of let us know, or we can see some kind of opening that we can later use for our situation too.
So,
There has to be a way.
well, while we've been here, I've been thinking on one of the last things that Scribner said. One of the last things that he told us was that she can't be harmed by a weapon from our world, his world, or her world. But where we're at right now is none of those things. We're in the Duke's world now. So perhaps there's something here that we can use as a weapon against her?
True.
If we could figure out some way to get him to, or ally with him, or get him to ally with us, perhaps we could. But so far, what I've heard or picked up from talking with the people and listening to what everybody's saying here, it seems like they've got their own war that they're fighting. And unless we can convince all of these people that she's their mutual enemy.
Wait, that's it? What if we tell the Duke that there's a bigger threat? There's a bigger, challenger than her, than a bee. And we point her to her. And then they can fight it out forever if they want.
Yeah.
Not on Earth.
No. No, we can take him to her garden. Because that garden I want to destroy it so bad, you have no idea.
But bugs like gardens. Bugs like flowers.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, I like your thinking on this.
I thought, okay, yeah, wow, thanks. That makes me feel like I can think of more than one thing, but I think it was a collective force now. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted today. Yeah, let's see what happens, but right. Maybe we can interfere before he, does, I don't know.
Does whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
I lean over and look at Lars. Lars, what did you mean by something not of this world again?
Well, we had asked Scribner about how to defeat her, and he had, of course, told us that we could basically weaken her, take away her power by taking away her names. And then that was the easy way, I believe. And then we asked about the medium way, and the medium way was I can't even remember. But another thing that he mentioned was that she cannot be harmed by a weapon from our world, his world, or her world. And now we're here, which seems like it's his world. So it's possible that a weapon from here or something from here would be able to harm her.
Lars, if I told you where you could find something that's not from any of those places, can you make a weapon out of it?
I can make a weapon out of pretty much anything.
I don't suppose you remember back in. I glance around, shrug, willing to risk it. Our time. Do you remember something crashing nearby Littlebrook?
I don't, but that doesn't mean Lars doesn't. Does Lars remember anything like that?
There was talk of a something like a meteor that was. There was a loud crashing noise, and there had been a starfall during that night. But as far as you know, no one ever found anything. So
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Because I don't know where the pieces are now. I do remember my old science teacher had a piece of the meteorite. And I'm pretty sure I know where it landed.
Okay. That might be worth a shot. I was thinking more that world being like each of the F words has their own reality. That's what I was thinking, but we can sure try that.
I think it could help. I don't even think cold iron would do the job against one of the gentry.
Yeah.
But something else, something beyond even their experience, that could do some damage. As long as we know how to work it and have someone who knows how to do it.
I'm gonna bet a handgun on her winning.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
one of the flies actually goes, "What is a handgun?"
Oh, it's this thing. It's a pretty useful weapon. I think you could make good use of it in the upcoming conflict.
Doesn't look very impressive to me. What is that? Some kind of baton?
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. You have no idea, do you?
Well, I have some idea. It's a weapon.
It makes little explosions, and it fires a projectile that can be made out of whatever you want it to be at incredible speed and inflicts massive damage on whatever it hits. It can go through armor. It can go through walls. Pretty nifty tool.
If it does what you say it does, I'm willing to bet a quarter of my army.
You have yourself a deal.
Perfect. So, do you? Is anyone doing anything before the duel is about to start?
Watching Nate.
So you're no longer watching Flicker?
Oh no!
At this point, just give it up. But yeah, no, she's definitely distracted by the gun situation. So Flicker is free reign right now.
Oh dear.
So Turing, were you gonna say something when you?
No.
Lars
I was trying to think, and I'm like, Lars would probably be too busy talking with Tide and Silas to really notice that Flicker was unsupervised.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you watch as Lady Eliza, she has removed the lower part of her dress to be more able to move. It's still quite a nice creation, very reminiscent of a honeybee's marking. And she has this kind of puffy, almost like a fur coat. No, not a fur coat, but like the thing you wrap around your neck, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And a scarf?
Yeah, almost like a scarf, yes. And she still has her hand kind of... She has something in her hand that she's holding almost behind her back. It's so small that it's hard to spot what it might be from now. And you see how this dark cloud of insects and rats and scorpions and spiders and cockroaches just kind of coalesce in the middle. And
Eliza of Porthorn, I remember killing your parents. How fitting, then, that you would challenge me to a duel. It is as if the gods had ordained it, don't you agree? No words? Very well, then. Let us commence the duel.
And the cloud kind of just forms into what looks to be the vague outline of a man's body, and it pulls from a scabbard hanging on the chair that the Duke was sitting on a sword that is blood red, and kind of throws it from one hand to another, and slowly walks towards Eliza, who's just standing at the same spot where she is. And then she just kind of gives a little laugh, kind of panicky, like everything's going to change tonight, she says. And then she pulls out what looks to be this small shard. It's like a jagged shard of dark red glass in her hand. And she just throws herself at this cloud of insects and things, and she sinks it into the cloud. And at first there's this booming laughter from the Duke, but then it gets distorted as he kind of twists and turns and tries to pull away from this red shard that is starting to glow bright red. Then there's smoke as the gnats are the first to start burning, and then the mosquitoes and the flies, and the insects are desperately trying to crawl away, but they are lit in flame one after another, and there's this howling screech as hundreds upon hundreds of insects and small creatures just burn one after another, and just the smell is overwhelming. And at first everyone is just watching, but then there's this kind of outraged shout from one of the beetle guards who's rushing forward, and Eliza just stands up. She's not holding the blade anymore, and the guard just draws his sword and runs towards her. She's just welcoming it. And there's mass panic breaking out as the pile of insects just keeps burning, and the entire castle starts rumbling as it's shaking, as its very fundament is starting to crumble around you. Yes, Jonas.
I want to go invisible and try to make my way and snatch up the thing.
Shard.
Not.
Give me.
I'm gonna lose my gun if he does that.
Oh my gosh. What is that shard? Holy shit. Sorry.
Yeah, the shard. You were trying to go for the shard, right? Sorry, I looked away for a second. You were going for the shard?
Yeah, it's chaos, right? And she had dropped the shard.
It's absolutely chaos. The shard is actually still stuck in this, in this pile of smoldering, burning insects that's still screeching and howling. And you see how it's actually, it is combusting as well, that it is shrinking rapidly. There's only about this much left of it. but you manage to snatch it out, and Eliza screams, "No!" And as she does, she's cut down. Oh, sorry, Nate.
I was just reacting to him removing the shard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have been a bit too early there, but yeah.
Put it back.
The shard. Are you putting the shard back? Because Eliza's
No.
cut down. with
I'm
the
gonna
guard.
yell, "Put it back!"
Because he'll take.
Jonas is not gonna put it back.
Okay. So the screeching stops, but obviously the pile of creatures, and it's not stirring in any way, but the rumbling stops for a moment. But suddenly everyone here is killing each other. The mosquitoes are draining the blood out of the tick. The cockroach's head has been removed from his body. He's just wandering around, holding his head in his hands. The dung beetle knight, or the Atlas beetle knight, has this huge two-handed axe out, and he's just cleaving the flies who are buzzing around. One of them is going up to Nate and trying to grab the gun out of his hands.
I'm gonna shoot him.
All right, go ahead and roll Dex Firearms.
Holy shit.
That's 2 successes.
2 successes. You fire off and you shoot straight through his wing, and he lets go and he looks absolutely terrified. And then you're covered in ichor as he's cut in twain by the Atlas Beetle Knight right in front of you.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of there.
After I get the shard, I'll try to run to Nate or Silas or Tide, whichever is closest.
Mm-hmm. Whichever you want. I think Tide would be closest because...
Yeah. And I'm just gonna turn to her real quickly. Get the other changelings out, the servers. Take them with us.
Okay. You mean who? Other changelings.
The servers were little changelings.
Okay. I spit into my palm and start summoning my sword.
Right.
Grab the handle, and then I go like, out! Everyone who is serving the Duke, out! And hold on, let me see if I think I have something like presents. Hold on. One second.
Absolutely. I would like you to roll a... what would be a good roll for this? Convincing...
Oh, yeah. I have this.
Yes?
Wait. What? I have my kith on now? Yeah?
Yes.
Awesome, because I have a kith blessing that's called Voice of Ice.
You always have your kith. It's...
Yeah, I mean, I can do that. That was the question.
Yeah.
I've never used this before.
What does the Voice of Ice do?
It says, intimidation and subterfuge rolls. Because when one lamp to recall fail. Oh wait, no. What?
What?
No, I think it's just an added thing to intimidation rolls. I don't know if
I would like you to roll presence. What would be good? Are you trying to scare them or convince them to leave?
See, here's the thing. If this was Nate, he could have convinced them, but this is not, so I better. Here's what I'm gonna do. So Tide summons a sword, gets up on the table, and is like, whoever is serving... Do they even know the word changeling? Servants! If you don't leave now, you will die. Get out! All of you! This isn't your fight.
Okay. I'm gonna say that's a presence. Yeah, that will be a presence expression roll, I think.
Oh Christ!
And when I see Tide doing this, can I try to help in some way? Try to get attention.
You can certainly make a presence expression roll as well if you want.
Here we go.
In fact, everyone can do that if they're trying to make the changelings leave with you.
I think Nova's looking for Flicker. They're trying to get her first.
Flicker is currently lighting a pine cone on fire and tossing, like, kind of gauging and aiming at the pile of still smoldering bugs.
And Noah's going to kind of be with her, ready to guide her out. But since we're not leaving yet, let her keep throwing that fire.
Yeah, she just... She lobs the pine cone and it lands.
Plan B! Plan B! Plan B!
Plan B?
Yeah, keep going!
All right.
I mean, it's literally a bee since we're making puns this whole freaking stream.
Yeah, so Flicker just goes, all right. And she turns bright orange as she just pulls out pine cones out of her pockets and just chugs them all around, setting fire to curtains, to the table.
But this was plan F for fire.
No, you guys are all busy. We're helping.
It's absolute mayhem. Silas, what are you doing during this time? So,
I was planning to guard over the more fragile members of the group and getting ready, in particular, to stop rampaging monsters like the Atlas Beetle if they started.
He's out for blood.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm going to be mostly reactive.
Yeah.
Troublemakers.
Perfect. So we got 3 successes from Tide. Nate, did you roll as well?
But
4.
One thing I forgot to do before I do all that. Can I tell Jonas to grab the sword, the Duke's sword?
Sure.
Am I still invisible?
I mean, if you can hear me.
You're invisible. So.
And I'll definitely go and take the sword as well.
Perfect. By the way, you're holding this little thing in your hand right now. You held that sword before. You held a cold iron sword. Did you touch it?
I don't think I touched it, but I saw the others touch it.
You are starting to get a hole in your palm, your hand. It's starting to burn
from the crystal.
From holding it, it's starting to burn a hole into your hand right now. So I'm going to ask you to make a stamina check to see if you can still hold on to it, if that's what you want to do. And you're going to take 1 point of damage, and I think it's a lethal damage.
Damn.
Yes. So
2 successes.
2 successes. You can hold on to it, but you're going to keep getting damage unless you find some way of transporting it.
I'm looking for like a bag or the crystal. Does it look like it's iron?
No, it's something completely different. It looks like glass. It looks like very dark red glass. It's about this big. It's shrunk a little bit since you picked it up.
Can I try if it just this big?
Yeah.
I'll try just to put it in my pocket.
Okay.
Let's see if that does.
We'll see. We'll get to that in a moment. So we have 7 successes total from Nate and Tide. You're getting some faces looking at you in sheer confusion, and a maid goes, "Go where?" To you.
Out.
They, some of them move out, but a lot of them just seem less inclined to do what you say. A handful leave as they're start running out. You see the worm that was guiding you. He's trying to, "Don't go anywhere. Stay behind to protect your lord." But some of them don't really listen to him. Silas, there is a large man with a large axe swinging in your direction. What do you do?
Well, I think I'm going to take a defensive motion first, try and dodge the axe.
Go ahead.
I can't carry an arm, can I?
You can't parry unless you have something to parry with.
Right. I figured I didn't know if my hands count as weapons, considering I'm an ogre. But okay, dodge is.
It has been a day and a half since we did combat last, so dodging. You have your defense. I'm gonna go get my rulebook. I'll be right back.
Take your time.
Yeah.
I might change my mind on how exactly I defend against this too. So.
Okay, now's our time to plan.
Okay, quick, while he's gone.
Quick while he's gone.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
Quickly.
Too slow.
Too fast.
Too fast. Don't try anything. I'm keen to your tricks. So let's see here in the index. Dodging.
You double your defense if you.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You double your defense. And what is your defense, Silas?
I believe defense is Dex plus. What is
Is it your average of something? I believe. I didn't
Hold on a
actually read.
second.
Sorry. What?
Defense is the lower of dexterity or wits plus your athletics.
So that would be. Oh, you have 3 is your defense. So you have 6. So 6 defense. I'm going to roll to see what happens. Okay, let's see here. That means he's got to have 6 successes to hit you, right? If I
right?
understand my basic. All right, here we go. So that is 1, 2. Yeah, that's not a hit. So, actually, hold on. No, not a hit.
Okay.
He swings his axe, and you just. How do you dodge?
What I did was move to the side with surprising agility for one of that size. It's almost like I could see it coming. Mm-hmm. And I immediately decide to try and grab both the beetle's arm and the axe that he's holding in immediate response.
Okay. So this is a new round because you dodged the last round. And
right. But he was making the attack, so that's why I...
yes, but if you dodge, that's your entire action for that round.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, right.
So what's going to happen is that he will be able to attack again, and I will roll for that, and then you will be able to try to grab it and wrench it from his hands. That's what you were intending to do, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
Well, I mean, the idea is that when I attack, it initiates the grapple, and then as a grapple action, you can take the weapon.
Yes, but he acts before you do.
Okay.
Because your action last round was to dodge. You can't dodge and grapple at the same round. It's your entire action to dodge, basically.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. So he's going to try to swing again, and that is a hit, but let me see, I'm going to roll damage. Silas, you also have damage resistance, don't you? You have Iron Stamina helps you with damage resistance, right?
It helps me in terms of ignoring damage penalty.
That's right. You take 2 health points of damage out of your 10 as he kind of managed to sink his axe just a smidge into your shoulder, and it hurts, but it's not enough to keep you away from your from what you want to do. And since the axe is lodged in you right now, the difficulty of getting it out of his hands is going to be much easier than it would have been if he was just holding it. So go ahead and roll strength athletics, I'm going to say, to wrest it out of his hands. So that would be
shouldn't that be strength brawl?
Strength brawl. I suppose it could be. Yeah, 9 dice then.
Okay,
yes.
Actually 10. I think it was specialty in grappling. Actually,
Ah, sure. Yes, you do. That's right. That's correct. So 10 dice.
And that's 1 crit, so 4 successes.
4 successes, 1 crit. So you reroll the 1.
Rerolled the 10. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So do I roll again? Or?
Yeah, you roll the 1 die that got a 10.
Okay.
Did you say he has 10 dice in strength brawl?
Yes.
He's a big guy.
Grappling.
The reroll failed. So
That's all right. Okay, so 4 successes. You managed to kind of wrench the axe out of his grip, and he is now without an axe. It is now yours. And while that's happening, Lars, what are you doing?
Lars is looking for that shard.
The shard is gone. You don't see it.
Yeah. That would probably be what he would be doing, would be looking for that shard, because if it did that much damage to this guy, then he wants it.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, he would just be probably dodging,
Right.
staying out of combat, trying not to get hit, while he's looking for that or anything else that's like an obvious weapon, or because he is pretty convinced that that Scribner specifying those 3 things was his hint that this place would be where you can get a weapon of some sort.
Good.
So
could be.
that's what Lars is doing.
Yes. Perfect. And so, Tide and Nate, you were protected by Silas, as he kind of took an axe chop for you.
Thank you.
And what are you doing now? Some of them are
That
leaving.
shard thing. I'm gonna go over to the pile of dead insects.
Yes.
How dead is that pile of dead insects?
It's stirring. It's coming back to life. But it's on fire as well by burning pine cones. So it's could be that's why it's stirring.
Lars, you want to finish the job before this guy comes back and decides it's... Wait, who has the shard here?
It's gone. I don't see it.
Nate, what's your defense score?
Not high, like 2 or something like that.
Right. So, as you're standing over the smoldering pile of insects, one of the armed guards comes basically running with his lance and impales your shoulder, causing 3 points of damage to you.
Oh, god damn it.
You moved away from the safety of silence.
Wait,
Tide, what are you doing?
can I intervene? Is there any way to...
While you were on the table shouting for people to leave for the door, and the table is fairly far away from the circle of duel. It was carried away from it.
2 things. When I see that the changelings don't, like, some of them went out, some of them are like not try not to. I'm just like, you're all dumb. You're all gonna die. And I'm looking around as I say this, and I suppose I'm trying to see what happened to the bee. Is she alive, dead?
She's dead. She's been cut down, or she's dying at least. She's clutching to her stomach and she's lying on the ground. Well, not dying. You don't know if she's dying, but she's definitely bleeding.
Okay. How far away is she from me?
20, 30 feet.
Can I get to her in this round?
Sure, you can get there, but you can't really do much this round for
her. Do I see Nate getting impaled?
Yes, you see someone running up to Nate and stabbing him in the shoulder with a lance.
Okay, I go, Silas, get the bee. And then I just run. to help Nate? Like, can I get to the guy that stabbed him?
Yes, but you cannot attack because again, it's pretty far away.
Okay, can I try to range pop some ice into his head?
You certainly could.
I could try, because that's not my specialty. But here we go. What would that be?
Well,
dexterity and
you
something
tell
else,
me.
right?
You tell me. How are you doing that?
Dexterity and firearms.
Doing what?
I think that's what we said.
Doing what?
Oh wait, I have a gun. Didn't you give me a gun? That's
Yeah, I think you have a gun.
I have a gun. That's right. So I just fire a gun at him.
Go ahead, Dex firearms, which I'm sure you got a lot in.
Hey, well, 3 successes.
5 dice. So Ty just pulls out a gun and shoots the guy in the back, and he goes, "Oh!" and just falls over. The armor doing nothing to protect him from the magical impact force of a 9mm handgun. Nova. Oh, sorry. Yes, Jonas.
No, Nova first.
Okay, Nova. What are you doing?
I think first she's looking around because I'm assuming Flicker is pretty concentrated on throwing pine cones, and Nova's going to take an extra second just first to look around to see, are they in danger?
Constantly, yes.
Yeah, so there's then what she's going to try to do is see where Silas is and try to kind of like, even if it's just pulling the back of Flicker as she keeps firing, and she's just going to kind of try to stay low and get them both to where big tough people are.
All right, so there is a hornet coming towards you with a rapier drawn, and he's going to try to stab at Flicker. What do you do?
Oh God, Nova's just going to move Flicker and put herself in front.
Okay, what's your defense?
3.
Oh. That is a miss. He kind of
like,
goes
by you, and suck so much.
Then he's immediately engaged in combat with a dung beetle. So
so quick, so fast. Okay, come on, Flicker. We gotta get out of here.
More fire.
Yeah, no, keep going. I'll guide you.
She's just tossing fireballs left and right now. It's an inferno in here at the moment, so that's certainly adding to the chaos. Jonas and then Silas.
I see. I'm going for the sword, but I see Lars and Nate just like looking around for something. So I go up to Nate, and I take the shard out of my pocket and put it in his hand.
Okay.
And tell him, the Duke, you decide if it's an ally for us in the future or if it's something that you're gonna put out your vengeance for. Your decision, and then I'll go for the sword.
Shit.
Okay. So, you go for the sword. Easy enough to grab. The red
Is it
sword.
also iron or something burny?
No, it's a sword. And Nate, you're currently holding something that feels like you're holding molten lava in your hand. Do something with it or take damage now. What do you do?
Roll it up in my shirt.
All right.
Okay. Oh boy.
But you have acted this turn. So
I've got to consider whether or not.
Silas, you got time to think now. Silas, you have the axe right now. The Atlas Beal guy looks miffed that you got his weapon, but he's essentially willing to duke it out with his fists. So what do you do?
When I look at the Atlas Beetle, I should have. Do I have him in the grapple, or do I just have his weapon?
You have the weapon. That's what you grapple out of.
Okay, so I chuck the weapon behind me, so it'll take him some effort to get to it, and do another grapple.
All right, roll. Go ahead and roll. That would be a contested roll this time, though, right? Is it a contested roll?
Yeah. All grapples are contested. There technically should have been one last time.
That's true. But he had already acted, so we would say that you didn't have to roll it. But I'll roll now a contested roll, and you roll your 10 die. 10 dice.
5 successes.
I got. Let me see here. Nope, you win that one. He's grappled. You got him in a headlock.
So,
Let me go, you knave!
can I pick him up and hurl him into the spear guy?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll strength to throw him, to chuck the Atlas Beetle.
Okay, so that's 10 because I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
strength 5.
Yep.
Oh, one success.
One success. What?
I'm glad there's no botch rule because otherwise,
Do you have what does willpower do again? We rarely use that. I would suggest this is one of those.
It lets you roll 3 more dice.
Yes, I would strongly recommend that you expend a point of willpower at this point because one success is not going to be enough to throw him.
yeah. So it's 2 more successes from the willpower.
3 successes. You chuck him. Where did you aim this throw?
Just into the middle of the guy's body for maximum chance to bowl him over.
Knock who over? Over.
The spear guy.
The spear guy. The one that was shot by Tide?
The one that was attacking Nate.
Okay, he got shot in the
one-
back by Tide. But there are certainly plenty other threats to the group that you can chuck them at to knock them over. There is a rather circular, spherical guard who looks like a black beetle, basically, like a pitch black armor and little antennae sticking out, and he's kind of running with his halberd towards Tide, who's standing on the table.
Oh, then at him.
Yeah.
So-
You chuck it at him, and you just he slams into the table, and they're all like lying on their back with their arms and legs in the air, trying to get up. The armor a little bit too heavy for them to get up easily. And with that, I believe it is a new round. So, you guys sort out who's doing what in what order. It's easier, I guess, if you tell me what you want to do. Or I can just point at someone and say, what do you do?
Make a decision for us, Chris.
All right, Ty, what do you do? Oh, sorry, Jonah, Lars, what do you do?
Well, he probably would have noticed Nate. All of a sudden, that item that he was looking for, that crystal, appearing, and him wrapping it up. So he would grab Nate and start pushing him towards the door. And
Right.
as he's doing that, start trying to get everybody else's attention. Let's go. It's time to go.
All right, cool. Jonas, you grabbed the sword. It is cool to the touch. It doesn't hurt you. It's surprisingly heavy, very poorly balanced. You feel, and the red has this kind of rust-like orangey red to it, but it certainly doesn't seem like it's about to break. And it's you can carry it, but it is heavy. You have to use both of your hands to lift it.
I'll use both of my hand to lift it and just following Lars' instructions, start trying to get out of there.
Do
If you take that sword, he'll come after us.
I wait to see what Nate does before I'll move along.
Okay, what does Nate do?
This shard, so I saw it disintegrating as it burned him away.
Yes.
This doesn't look like enough to actually kill you-know-who anymore, right? It looks pretty small. Fuck it. And I'm gonna... Fuck. Oh, man. You know what? No, Nate hates the Trufe. I'm gonna finish the Duke.
All right.
Just in a moment of blind rage.
So you chuck it in the pile? Yeah.
Yeah, just give him another stabbo.
Yeah, you run over, you sink that little shard into the pile of bugs that were just starting to recover, and it just pops into flame again. And there's this screeching howl once more, but it dies out within moments. And just a few seconds later, a large stone, a cut stone, crashes into the table, mere foot away from Tide, as the keep starts collapsing around you.
What are you doing? That was our weapon against her.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough.
Jonas, what are you doing now?
I'm holding onto the sword and I'm starting to shout out, Screamer, lickety split, please.
Can I do something before that? Before we go anywhere?
Tide. Go right ahead.
I try to regain my balance when the stone falls and then just like sprint towards the bee.
Okay.
And
you get to the bee.
Grab her and be like, "What did you do? What was that?"
Revenge. She manages. She's clutching to her stomach.
What did you do? What
killed
was
him.
it? What was it? What did you use?
They called it redstone.
Redstone. How did you get it?
Everything.
He's dead. You did it.
Everything I had. I bought it.
Of who?
Where?
Big Tim.
Of course.
Hold on.
It was all he had. It took me everything.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's okay. Look at me. It's gonna be fine.
I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I just wanted him dead.
Can I pick her up?
Sure. She weighs almost nothing. It's like picking up a hollow mannequin, basically.
Okay, I pick her up and I start running out. I look at the others and then I guess just make sure someone of them sees me and I run out with her.
You see actually as the keep starts collapsing, these insect people, some of them just burst into flame where they stand. Some of them just kind of melt into a puddle of colors and strange shapes. Some of them just, it's as if they are spread out into the air. They just disintegrate before your eyes. And you start running out of the keep. Nova, you're dragging Flicker. Silas, what do you do?
I'm going to head out of the keep and pick up anyone who's injured enough to need it, like probably Nate.
Yeah, Nate's not doing too good.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh yeah, I probably can't move this arm.
Yeah, and you have lost sensation in your hands. You see that the skin has been kind of scorched away just from holding that thing for a little while.
Ooh. Yeah, I could use a hand.
And so everyone is heading outside. You're running through the corridors. There's holes in the ground that at points you have to jump across. The carpet is like you see one worm servant just kind of go straight through dragging the carpet with him through the hole in the ground. And as you're running down the stairs, they're collapsing around you. I would like everyone to roll a Dex Athletics roll, please.
I got one success.
One success. Okay,
and
so yes.
If I run by one of these servants, just anyone who I suspect is a changeling,
yeah,
I'm just gonna like grab it real quick and say like Littlebrook, and then keep running.
Mm-hmm.
I got two crits, so I'll roll 2 more dice.
Yes, do that. Who has under 3 successes? All right, so everyone but okay.
I have 3, so.
Oh, you have 3. Okay, under 3 successes.
Okay, I have 3.
Okay, so everyone but Lars and Tide, you kind of stumble and slam into the walls on your way out, and you get hit by brickwork falling down. And at one point, Silas, it stings in your side, and when you look over, you realize someone's lodged a sword in you, but you barely felt it, and you all take 1 point of damage, those of you who rolled less than 3. As you kind of run towards the exit, you see how the only people seemingly alive are the ones who look more human, presumably changelings, as they're escaping. Some of them are dragging one another. They're screaming. There's fear. There's panic. They're scattering out. They're running out from this cliff that you're on, and you feel the very ground. Sorry.
I try to call out and say, "Changelings, follow us. We can help you. We're like you."
And they kind of all of this together, both Tide and Nate's shouting, and finally Silas's booming, confident voice is enough to kind of catch the attention of most of them. And they're just, "Where are we going? Where should we go?"
"We're going to safety. We know what we're doing." As I'm cradling Nate, who's really badly hurt now.
Yeah, now I'm real fucked up.
Yeah.
Trying to get them out of there.
And you're running past the stables, coming outside, and the long piece of land that led out of this cliff just crumbles before you. And the only way back now would be down by the beach with your boat.
How big was that boat again?
You barely fit on it.
But we had a horse. Do we still have a horse? Because that might
Do
be...
you still have a horse? The castle is crumbling. What do you do? The horse is in the stables, by the way, or is led to the stables.
Depends
I'll
if
go get the
Flicker's
horse.
gonna remember the horse, because I think Tide would.
Flicker doesn't remember the horse. Flicker is putting things on fire.
Poor horse.
Does anyone want to...
Yeah, Nate will probably remember the horse. Like last minute, he'll be radio and he'll just like poke Silas and just be like, "The horse."
You did promise to return it to
Yeah.
I guess Nova will like take Flicker and aiming her kind of like a weapon and try to find this horse.
Yeah. Oh, the horse! She stops throwing fire. We gotta save the horse.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm doing. You can keep throwing fire, and we'll figure it out. You just
Really,
don't
it seems
fight.
a little. It seems a little extra. Like,
You know what? If anything looks threatening, if anything looks even like a little threat, like a little,
All
someone
right.
looks at us the wrong
Okay.
way. Okay, because we're on a horse mission now.
okay.
Okay.
Horse mission.
Okay, we're going
Yeah,
towards
they're-
that thing that's a stable, I guess. Who
Yeah,
knows?
the stables have half collapsed into the ocean right now. You can actually see how half the building has just fallen off the cliff that is on, and you hear these horrified whinnying noises from inside. And you head into the stables, and you see several animals are tied in their boxes, I guess you'd call them. And you spot, of course, a horse that you were lent by Scribner, and it's like teetering on the edge, like it's kind of backing up against the back of the wall of the box. And
I think Nova's gonna be like, "Hey, okay, can you focus the fire to get like all the ropes?"
Stalls. There's stalls. There you go. Thank you.
Stalls. Thank you. Yes, ropes. Got it. She kind of
Okay,
just
yeah,
runs
just
up
burn
and
the
grabs,
ropes, but-
yeah, she
yeah.
grabs ropes and burn them off.
Yeah.
And there's kicking and screeching and howling. These animals are not having any of it. So, how are you gonna convince these animals to leave with you without kicking your teeth in?
I think Nova's more like, get out of here! Like,
All right.
hitting them.
Presence animal Ken?
That sounds great.
Nova animal
Your
Ken.
panic
2-0. Yeah, this is
2-0.
great.
Yeah, so that's
2-0.
gonna be at -1, I believe.
Oh god.
One die. You get one die.
Oh hey, one success.
One success.
Hey.
Yeah, they're certainly getting out. I would like Silas, are you doing anything? You're in there as well. Are you trying to calm these animals down?
Yeah, what's my animal count again?
Let me see. You should have a bit of that, I think.
Or
Silas,
I'm doing-
Animal Ken 1 and Presence 3. So 4 dice.
Can you survival instead, or?
No, this is Animal Ken.
Okay, fine. That's should be 4 dice.
4 dice, yes.
And I'm an ogre. It should be easier to
Yeah,
scare
you just scream at them.
Yep, let's see. Okay, 3 successes and 1 crit. Well, one of them's a crit. So
Yeah,
I'll
re-roll that one.
So, yep. Hold on.
Nova's pretty sure she was doing great.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, hey, okay, listen up. We got
Never
it.
success.
Then Silas just comes in.
Silas just "Roar!" and the horses just go out. They run. You did it. You got the horses out. Flicker just kind of goes up to the horse, like she's holding on to his reins, and he's dragging her behind him. So she's being dragged behind the horse out of the stables. And the rest of you see how Flicker's just her feet are bouncing on the ground as she's trying to hold on to this horse that's dragging her out.
I can't catch her. I just hope she manages to get up on that thing, because falling off on the way to their owner is going to hurt a lot.
Yeah.
I turn to Lars and just, it might be a tall order, but a bigger boat, is that something you can do?
Maybe. How many are we talking?
I'm looking around for those other probably changelings around.
The maid that almost spilled frog legs on you kind of go. The Duke kept his private ship in the small harbor. It should probably fit all of us.
Take us there, please.
Yes, of course. No, the private ship is the master's. None of you shall use it without his permission.
He's dead.
The worm manservant just kind of puffs up his chest like, over my dead body, you are not using his ship.
Shut up!
Fair enough.
Heal her! I point at the bee. If you don't
What do you
stop
mean,
her
heal
bleeding,
her?
I am tossing you into the lake.
I am the Lord's personal manservant. I don't do wound bandaging.
Hey, the Lord's dead. I killed him.
Lord's dead.
It's over.
It's over.
You will regret everything you're saying right now, so just please come with us.
Very well.
So the girl you got needs healing time?
She's bleeding.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, she's bleeding out. She does not look great, and
Can I try to freeze the wound over to stop the bleeding? I don't think that's something I can do.
You can try.
Silas holds up a hand and silently reaches down to his own skin and just tears a strip of flesh from his arm as the blood starts to come up, and you feel the glamour drain away from him. This should be Chris under the shield contracts.
Is it the shared burden?
Shared burden, that's the one. So he tears a strip of his own flesh off, and when the blood falls on her, she should feel a considerable portion of her damage.
Right. Indeed, the blood trickles down on her, and the wound immediately starts closing up, and color kind of returns to her face. Color, in sense, she's an insect, but she's certainly not seems to be dying anymore. And you're heading towards the harbor, which is on the other side of the beach that you arrived at. And the castle is just crumbling. The cliff next to you is collapsing around you. You're hurrying down, Flicker being dragged by her horse. And you see the little boat that you arrived in is completely crushed underneath this large tower that had just collapsed on top of it. And which has actually exposed enough of the side of the castle to show you that there is it looks like a sailing boat. Possibly it's really big, and there's a gangplank up to it, and it's tied to a small dock.
We'll run to it. I suspect.
I held the bee onto her legs, I guess.
Yeah. Like, what?
And then I focus. I tell her follow, and then I I go to help Nate instead. I don't even check if she does.
Is the slug guy still hassling us?
He's following after you, but he doesn't look happy about the situation.
Okay, good.
When the Lord finds out about this, you're all going to pay.
Nobody's paying him any attention.
I'm gonna try something crazy. It might not work. I'm gonna do hostile takeover.
Okay.
And declare this domain as my own, since there is no one else claiming it right now. Maybe it doesn't work. I will see.
You mean the boat, or the keep?
Everything.
Okay, hostile takeover.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. The true fair home. The changeling declares her right to be on the premises, persuading the home that she belongs there. So it doesn't actually make it yours.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
Unfortunately, but you can still use it because the ship. Well, no, there's really no security measures to talk of. You make it aboard the ship, and it seems actually that the keep is kind of not collapsing quite as much anymore as you're getting aboard the ship. And as you cast loose, there's a few kind of flea-like individuals who are at first surprised that you're aboard the ship, and then they're like, "Oh, we're leaving? All right, of course." And they set sail out to the ocean, and you head out across the water. And you didn't forget the horse.
Side quest done.
Is the horse still like dragging Flicker like across the boat?
It's actually walked up to this bag of grains that was on board the ship, and it's kind of bitten it open and is munching away, and Flicker's just standing next to it like, "I saved the horse."
You did good.
Oh yeah, Flicker.
You did good.
Yeah.
Watch that worm guy. You gotta hit him with a pine cone. You do it.
Can I hit him with a pine cone now?
No, it's better if we wait until he gets sassy with somebody. Then he knows.
Yeah. So, you head out across the water. The changelings are huddled up. Some of them are crying. Some of them are glaring angrily at you. Some of them are looking relieved. The crew, likewise, seem to be shaken up by the event. The worm has gone quiet. The worm has turned, as it were. And you sail away. And you watch the keep kind of stop breaking completely. It's a ruin now, but it's not collapsing anymore. And the bee is standing by the railing of the ship, kind of looking towards it. And you see that she's got her hands clenched against the wood. She's it's hard to read her emotions, but she's quiet and kind of intensively staring at the ruins.
So, since it stopped, does that mean it's not dead, or anybody have experience with, slaying them?
Yeah, we might have made some trouble for ourselves here.
There'd be nothing new.
If that Scrivener guy could just keep up his promise right about now, that would be great.
What was our agreement with him? Go and not blow shit up, right?
We don't know how their parties usually go. That could have just been like, a normal Saturday night.
I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't do anything, right?
Well,
Right?
it just seems like places that we go tend to end up in flames, is all I'm saying.
Hey, I didn't even say my name. Not once. I think I followed all the rules.
We did
Yeah.
great on that
Yeah.
one. Everybody should just pat themselves on the
Yeah.
back. We did great on that
Ah,
one
my wings.
this time.
If anything, it's not our fault the place caught on fire and saved quite a few of those changelings. So
Um,
I feel like Scrivener would have known, right? That we were a mess. Or wait, I'm still bleeding out, so...
yeah, don't move.
You think you said it, but you didn't.
Yeah, I feel like
Scrivener.
my current thoughts are I feel like Scrivener maybe did this on purpose, knowing full well we'd probably ruin the place.
Well, no, we went and we ate and we drank and we talked a whole lot.
I wouldn't say you ruined the place.
Yeah. We are completely blameless. We can hold our heads high.
Scrivener
Yeah.
knew exactly what he was doing and sent us to destroy the place. Yeah.
We still didn't do it on purpose, so I'm just kind of
Remember-
like I'm trying to
I don't know. Maybe
cool Nate's hands with ice.
She, the bee walks up to you, and she kind of glares at Tide. Why did you save me?
Because I want to ask you things. What you did was incredible.
You should have let me die.
Your fate is your own after this. But
no,
until-
it's not. It's not.
It's not?
No.
What's happening? Tell me.
I am the Sanguine Duchess now.
Yes?
Do you have any idea what this means? Everything
No,
I did
tell me.
is for nothing.
What do you mean?
I was supposed to die.
To seal it.
To seal the castle.
She killed him,
Yeah.
so she replaces him, but if she dies, there's nobody to run this place. That's why everything stopped falling apart, because she's the new...
Duchess.
She just gained a name.
Okay. Why
She
is
just
this a bad
became
thing?
one of them.
Jonas takes a step away from the bee.
Why is this a bad thing? You're alive. You can make a change.
Doesn't work like that.
Oh no? Who makes
No.
the rules in this place now? Don't you? Who does then?
Do you even know what Arcadia is?
I do, sort of.
Let me return to the keep. I'm not lost to it yet. But I don't know what's going to happen now.
If you want, you can
Yes.
swim back.
There's probably a lifeboat or something, yeah?
No, because if she swims back,
I don't think you're
she's not
understanding.
gonna make it back. If that's
Uh-huh.
what you really want, isn't that how it would work?
Tide, I don't think you
Yeah.
understand.
I don't think I do. Tell me.
She is now a gentry. If
Oh.
she wasn't already one, she's one now. And all of these guys that run this boat obeyed because she's here. If she tells them to turn around, they're going to turn around.
Oh,
This is her domain now. It's part of her. She's part of it. Just like the garden is part of her, this is now her domain. At least, I think that's right.
He is correct.
I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix things. Look, if it's any consolation...
Yes?
No, you go first.
I owe you a life debt. Spend it well, she says. And her wings start fluttering quickly, and she just ascends from the ship and leaves towards the castle. The crew is still steering the ship towards Scrivener's harbor. And the worm looking at her, disappearing, and then at you. It doesn't say anything.
Your boss likes us. That means you have to like us too.
Didn't know that could happen. I mean, not the liking part, the whole... Oh gosh.
It makes sense, though. I mean, in the weird F-word way of logic.
You can say fucked up way of logic. Yeah,
no, that's not the F word
I know it's not, but it could as well be.
She's getting real twitchy. She's ready to jump.
But hey, we were looking for another one of them to point against her, and we got one now.
How many changeling is it on the boat?
There are somewhere between 20 and 30 of them.
Good lord.
Yeah. They're all very frightened and confused about what's going on. And yes,
I turn back to the others and this is a win, I would say, as well so far. Let's not put them through what we were put through at the start, right?
Where we come from is a home for changelings. We could do worse than have a number of others.
Yeah. Don't make them go back and fetch stuff for us and all that.
At the same time, and Silas looks at the considerable number of wounds on his body and to the injuries that Nate is clearly suffering from. Says, we might have more pressing concerns, and rather soon.
And I believe as you're slowly approaching the harbor of Scrivener and contemplating this win, because I would certainly call it a win as well, I believe we will end for tonight, and we will continue again next week.
Yeah.
And thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Littlebrook Reunion, and thank you everyone for playing. As always, it has been an amazing pleasure to play with you.
Likewise.
Keep clean, everyone.
Yep.
Keep clean, keep safe. Take care of yourselves. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.